status. That's pretty much what we'll be talking about. Okay, so what is viral marketing? Hold on a bit. One quick second. I'm going to get my team members to join in the meeting. I just want to send them the link. Is it okay to send the link out to friends? Bukayo?
Yeah, sure. Please go ahead. Ized, okay. Share the link.
At some point, I remember that no registration, no entry. But please, let me just share with people, because I put it on my status and there are people who are acting. Okay, so I shared it on my status. So as I was saying, let's get started. Okay, as I was saying, this conversations that we're having isn't about how to go viral, and it's not about short tactics to do viral marketing. What I'm actually talking about is how to build your brand to attain virality status. It's a workshop of sorts, because at some point we will have to use a random product and discuss how we will make that product go viral. Are you sure it's Bukayo that is using the DigiClan link? Because Bukayo's voice said I can go ahead and share the link, and then somebody typed no registration, no link.
So it was actually Tim that said you could go ahead, but the rule is you're actually supposed to register so you can get the link.
Oh.
Yeah.
Should I delete that from my status now?
If you, I think you shared it already, and there's really nothing we can do now. So I think we can just proceed. Bukayo,
okay.
Let us go for today. Thank you.
Okay, so what is viral marketing? First of all, we must understand that viral marketing is not about appearing on the trend table with your hashtags. I guess we will say that is trending. That's not necessarily viral marketing, because I am mostly talking to, hey, Buki, hi. Because I'm mostly talking to digital media marketers, and so when people think viral marketing, they think, oh, how did they appear on on the trend table, whether it was on the Explore tab on Instagram, or they appeared on the trend table on Twitter. That's not viral marketing. Viral marketing actually relies on your customers or users who are falling in love with your brand and your product, and they just keep talking about it, talking about you, and talking about your brand. Now, for your products, for your marketing efforts to go viral, it must start first within your core customer base, who then proceed to tell the next person and tell the next person and tell the next person. It's like when Access Bank is deducting money from their customers overnight, and people are ranting about it. And without asking your core customers to, it suddenly becomes that you're trending on the App Store, and you're trending on the iOS App Store, and you're trending on the what's it called, Google Play Store, because for some reason your customers are referring your product and saying, oh, use this bank instead, and use this bank instead. So that's virality. Being viral doesn't mean that you're trending on the trend table. It's having customers. Again, I'm just slightly repeating it. It's having customers who rely on your product, or viral marketing relies on your customer actually, who are in love with your brand and your product, and they just keep talking about it. There are examples of brands that have gone viral, but permit me to use, I know not everybody loved our strategy in the beginning, but permit me to use VBank as an example of a brand that has gone viral. I also love PiggyVest. That's a brand in Nigeria that has gone viral. There is the Burger King, there is Wendy's, Those are brands that have gone viral. I'm sure we can think of a lot of other brands that have gone viral, but viral marketing again is when people just, it's like, in the customer acquisition channel, there's the acquisition, there's the retention, then there is the mass appeal. When the acquisition is getting the customers to either download your product or use your brand, retention is getting them to stay there and be active users. Mass appeal is when you attain virality. Mass appeal is when these customers have become brand ambassadors and then go on to refer your brand to other people, especially when other consumers are having issues or complaints from a similar brand a similar brand to yours. Okay. That is what is viral marketing, actually. Why am I so fucking nervous? Components of viral marketing efforts. Great organic content. So what are the components of great viral marketing efforts? We have great organic efforts and great organic content, rather. They have to be timely. They are bold and dependent on a no bullshit decision making. They do not sound salesy. Now, I know that I said viral marketing is not when you get on the trend table, but I'm also saying that you can plan virality. How do we plan virality? First of all, remember that the components are great organic content. It has to be timely. You have to be bold, and it's easier to go viral when you're the decision maker. So imagine something is trending on the table, and you have this really great way to jump on the trend, but you're not a decision maker. So you typically have to first of all go and say, call the client and say, please, sir, Hush Puppy is trending. Can we jump on the trend with this tweet or with this post? It's harder by the time the customer, the communications man sends it to the director of marketing, who then sends it to the boss, who then approves, then comes back to you and says, okay, you can use the tweet or you can use the content or change it like this. And then you now call your graphic designer to do a design or something simple, and the trend has passed. So to be able to go viral, you have to have some sort of decision-making ability. My English is not very good, so I'm just going to use decision. You have to be a decision maker in the content that goes out. You have to have great organic content. They have to be timely, and try not to sound salesy in your post. So how do you plan virality? To be a brand that can become viral, that can have constant viral marketing, is you start by building out a unique voice for your brand. Today's customers can distinguish when a brand is selling and when the brand is talking. So most people don't. Even if the entire plan, the entire point of the conversation is to sell, consumers do not sell sales posts, except maybe when you are doing like 80% off on an iPhone and you are selling the iPhone for 28,000. Actually, no, I'm not sharing that one. I'll just buy it. But after I buy it, then I'll share. So, yes, consumers do not necessarily share sales posts, except you're doing an 80% off. But they can also distinguish when your brand is selling and when the brand is talking. So you have to be talking to your clients. So start with building out a unique voice for your brand. That's one of the ways to plan virality. 2, jump on trends. Now, I was going to say constantly jump on trends, but that's not true. There are ways to jump on trends without even necessarily using the hashtag. And you have to be careful. There are trends you do not jump on. You cannot see somebody talking about justice for Ua, and then you now say, okay, this is the best time to jump on trend. As you are going to, and you see, maybe you see a bunch of people who say they're going to protest justice for Ua at Freedom Way in Lekki. And then you now think, as a brand that sells food on Freedom Way, here's the best time to jump on trends. As you are going to protest at Freedom Way, please stop by and buy meat pies. No. Social media has given us enough opportunities for trends, and as brands, we can seize this opportunity to show our non-business but fun parts. Trends are a great way to use into conversations. Doing this consistently, but very strategically, puts in the minds of audience and your consumers. According to data, consumers are attracted to brands that display humor than they are attracted to brands that are serious. So if you're a brand that has an easy tone, a brand that can display humor. So we find that more people engage with bank brands that do not say, wherefore, therefore, hence, I will, brands that are easy to say, oi, you're doing well. They interact more with those kind of brands. That's just an example. I'm not saying go tomorrow and write oi, you're doing well on your brand. If that's not in line with the branding of the clients that you're working with or with your own brand. But consumers tend to engage more and share more if the content is humorous. I hope that's correct English. Anyway, so another way to become viral, so another way to plan virality is to have great content constantly, consistently. I'm an adult girl, so consistently must have come out wrongly. Churn out content that is human, relatable, and shareable. With great content, you can bet on your audience to share organically within their circles and ultimately to others who are outside the brand. Sometimes, right, your content might be a topic of discussion. It might start out negatively, but they are talking about it. You might be like, what's this brand doing? They're just doing nonsense. Why are they always doing giveaway on their social media? What are they trying to do? You can't catch people with giveaway. If you do too much giveaway, your consumers will leave. The thing they don't know is they're actually also discussing the brand, and people who typically who missed out on the giveaways or the conversations on social are now hearing from them about the brand. So sometimes content might be skewed both ways. You don't, as long as people are talking about your brand. Again, try not to be a hush puppy. I should stop talking about hush puppy on this Google Meet, so we don't know whether they're recording this one. Try not to be that guy, and ensure that your content is not skewed negatively. That's not what we're asking. Have great content that are human, have great content that is relatable, have great content that is shareable. Also, you understand that you have to do a lot of social listening, a lot of data analysis and measuring. Listen to conversations about your brand. Listen to conversations about your industry. Listen to conversations about what your audience are talking about. What are they doing? What is important to them? Jump on their pain points. If typically you're trying to come into the market and you do a research and you see that the biggest pain point of consumers in that circle is charges. And you check 100% of the conversations, and you see that of the 100% of the conversations, almost 84% of the consumers are talking about the charges when they bring up. They're constantly talking. I don't like when this bank charges me this, and then you decide, and you can decide, or as a brand you decide, okay, we're not doing charges. That's a way to have. That's a good way to use social listening, so that you can understand the pain points of the consumers, and then you are able to create products or services that address those, and then craft your content around that. And once you're crafting your content around that, that is very relatable and that is very shareable. We're talking even comedians. You see that some people are really good comedians, but when they do skits, they do it around things that are not relatable. So even while it's funny, the tendency to hit the share button is very low. But once they do a skit that feels like something you have experienced in your life before, you are not just laughing about it, you're starting to click on the share button. So you have to do a lot of social listening, you have to do a lot of data analysis, you have to measure, and then you're constantly measuring. When you put out this content, people tend to share it a lot, or people tend to talk about it a lot. When we put out content like this, we get a lot of downloads on the App Store. So you know which kind of contents are driving app downloads. You know which kind of contents are which kind of content you should be sharing. So listen to conversations surrounding your brand, not just your brand, competitors, people in the industry. Listen to what the audience is talking about. Listen to what trend is flying across social media, whether it's Twitter, whether it's Facebook, whether it's LinkedIn. Listen to what trend is flying across social media. Analyze which of your content your customers are interacting with the most, and always be measuring, analyzing your brand content with respect to the audience. So it's not just about analyzing, this content was bad, or see, it's tight. I put it in a group of my friends, and they're like, Jesus, this is... And how did it relate to your target audience? Did they share? Did they engage? So it's not about your friends or people in the marketing room. It's about sharing with. It's about how your audience reacted to that content. Now, another thing is enable your content for sharing. Sometimes I know that at digital media marketers we don't like to do a lot of giveaways, but especially if you're trying to go viral. In the middle of Corona, in the middle of COVID-19, one of the ways to go viral is to do giveaway. So introduce incentives that nudge and propel your audience and customers to share your content using call to actions, using rewards or discounts, and ensuring that I'm trying not to use the word giveaway in this entire sentence. So let me rephrase it. Introducing incentives that nudge and propel your audience and customers to share your content using call to action, rewards, discounts that will ensure that the content about your brand is being shared around regardless of. Recently, a brand I was working for, I went to a Malam, and he was literally selling the brand right back to me with his referral code. So sometimes it could be about a reward that he's getting at the end of the month. He actually gave me his referral code, and this was the Malam that had a one kiosk store. And I'm asking, how did you get this referral code? And he was teaching me about, it's easy, madam, use this referral code about the brand that I was selling. And so you have to introduce your content in a way, nudge your content to the clients in a way that you can use call to actions or rewards or discounts that will have them sharing the content. So before we get into platforms, I would like to take questions now. It feels like I've been talking to myself for a bit. So I don't know if you guys are allowed to unmute your hey Bookie. I don't know if you guys are allowed to unmute your mic or if you would just ask the questions with the chat box. But I would like to take questions now. Wow. Was that good, right? Okay. DigiClan said questions in the chat box, please. No questions. Wow.
Okay, so because so I think because we've
been
taking
a
lot
lot
of,
question,
we'll be going the. Oh, great. So I think we can drop. If you have a question, say I have a question, then you would unmute your mic one after the other to speak.
Okay, so
Bookie,
I like to hear Bookie.
Bookie can go.
I like to hear Bookie. Yeah, because I haven't heard that from her in a while. Bookie, please unmute your mic.
I've unmuted my mic. Hi, Zekwa. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
Good, thanks. This is really interesting, especially since, it's not like I'm trying to sell anything. But I actually am curious about, instead of maybe, selling a product, about selling ideas. And if you think some of the strategies that you've put forward would be just as effective in being able to get people to buy into ideas or knowledge that you're trying to sell, and how do you, because the idea about making sure like the person has decision making power, how do you find people that you trust to be able to do that kind of work where you don't have to micromanage them, so that it doesn't become you don't go viral for the wrong reasons, right? And people don't start talking about your brand as a bad example
in a negative way. Yeah. So, okay, hold on. Let's hear the next question so that I'll just take all the questions. Lekon, please. You can unmute your mic and ask your question. Hey, by the way, Bookie, I missed you. Lekon, please. You can ask your question if you unmute your mic. Ideas and people that you trust. Okay, so while Lekon is typing, Oluwasegun Adeyemo, please can you ask your questions?
Yeah, hi, Ized.
Yeah,
thank you for that. So, basically, I wanted to ask, I know giveaways, are something that brands jump on, and I mean, it helps with virality and all, but most times, it doesn't give you active customers. So, is there like a way to give incentives to this your audience on social media platform and still retain them as active customers? Because some of them, they just download, for example, if you're selling a fintech brand and you're like, okay, once you download the app, it will give you a free 10K. Now, they download the app, they get the 10K, and they leave. So in a situation like that, how can you use giveaways to at least to get active customers for your brand?
Okay. Israel, Oracle Israel. Thank you so much, Shegun. I've noted that down.
Hi, Ized. Thanks for this class. So my question is a bit similar to what Shegun asked. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you
Okay,
clearly.
my question is a bit similar to what Shegun asked. So how can you use content marketing to grow the social media pages in terms of followership for a particular brand? Yeah, because many times when you do giveaway, they just come, take whatever you have, and they are gone. They really do not actively follow you like that.
Okay. Okay, Lekon asked, so you mentioned brands being careful with sensitive trends like justice for OA. However, most of these hashtags are better ways brands can humanize their voices and emotionally connect with their audience. What do you advise in this case? Should I or should I not? So there are ways, so I'm not saying don't participate in hashtags like this. I'm saying that there are ways to participate in hashtags like this. You can't start selling on top of a hashtag. I see that Trix is jumping on the question, so I'll read Trix's answer. I think what she was saying is not to bring your sales part into social issues like that. You can jump on such trends, offer your voice, and humanize the content of your hashtag. Yes, there's that. There's also ways to say, you see the brands that were jumping on Black Lives Matter, they were pushing forward their brand without necessarily using that as an opportunity to drive sales. What they were trying to do was humanize their brand and be able to say, we support this cause or we are part of this cause. So with building virality, with getting your customers to the mass appeal, to getting your customers to the mass appeal stage, right? There's content, there's connection, and there's consistency. So if you have really great content, it must be content that connects to your consumers. It's content that they can relate to. And so great content, connection, and you must be consistent. So if you are getting to that mass appeal part and there's a social cause, justice for war, and there's a way for your brand to say, we support this, maybe through a donation, or maybe saying, we'll print, for example, if you were a printing press, we'll print all the t-shirts that will be used at the rallies or the protests. We will give out shirts for free, or we'll do something for there's a way to jump, for lack of a better, maybe jump is not the word. There's a way to join in the hashtag or piggyback on that trend by connecting to your target audience without necessarily being very salesy on the post, right? Okay, so great. Let me go back to Bookie's question. She said, if you have a service or it's an idea that you're trying to go viral instead of a product, I think that the rules still apply. Ideas or service or product, I think that the same rules for virality still apply. It's also about the kind of content that you're putting out. It's also about social listening and how you can use every opportunity. So let's say you were preaching, what now? Maybe trying to get more men to be more understanding of women's plight or women's issues. At every point, if there's a way to jump in on a trend and educate rather than be condemning or attacking, you will get that virality that you're asking for if you can connect to the target audience that you're trying to reach. I remember that when I first joined social media, but earlier on in my early social media days, I was consistently saying I'm not a feminist. I believe that a man should be the head of the home. I want to start. was that time, oh, guys. I want to serve my man. I want to wash his boxes. Shit, they're recording this. I never said anything like that on social media. I should probably delete that tweet now. Okay, so I would say things about, the man is the head. But I feel like when issues came up about feminism and women's plight and women's issues, I was educated mostly by the tweets or the posts or the content, whether on Facebook or on LinkedIn, that actually broke down the issue in a way that I started to think differently about it. Okay, maybe I want equal rights, because, why should I come from work with this man and then go right into the kitchen and start cooking? I mean, we can do it together or we can buy food on our way. It was simple things that actually then led me to the point where I'm like, okay, I feel differently about this now. So there are ways to sell an idea on social media and go viral by they're the same rules, right? By jumping on trends, by having great organic content that is timely and then that's bold, without necessarily sounding, in this case, condemning or salesy, or forcing me to say this is the way to go. You must believe in. It was mostly about people who just talked streets, and I was able to understand differently. Now, how do you find people that you trust? So sometimes for most of these things is, I'm really not sure how to answer that question. How do you find people that you trust to jump on brands, on conversations like that, right? I guess when you work with somebody long enough who understands the brand. So for hiring a social media community manager, the person who manages your content that goes out, you have to ensure that they understand the brand and what the brand will never do. Ever do. So they have to understand the do's, the don'ts. You have to have a brand guideline and a brand Bible, and ensure that this person who you're hiring sticks within those brand guidelines and the brand Bible. So that's a way to get people. That's the way to ensure that you can trust the people who are putting out content on your social media timeline. It's about one goof one time where a lady was complaining about how she went from a long distance to a guy's house, and I think that she was raped at when she got there, and talked about the money that was spent. I think that was 2 years ago or something, or 3 years ago, and a brand jumped on it and said, what was trending wasn't the rape case. What was trending was the distance that the lady had traveled to go to see this guy to get raped. And a cereal brand, a logistics brand, jumped on it and said, oh, if you had used our services, the fare would have been cheaper. And I thought that was a stupid trend to jump on, because I'm not just saying that I went this long distance, spent all this money. I'm saying that when I got there, something happened. And the person who was managing the brand didn't think of the whole conversation fully, and then said, okay, are you saying that it would have been cheaper for me to enter your use your service, and then the rape would have been cheaper? And people really, really cussed out that brand on social media. So they were trending for it. They went viral for it, a very negative reason. So I would think that whoever it is that is managing your brand conversations need to understand the brand guidelines. We will never say anything like this. We would never do something like this. We would, they need to understand where the brand would not go to for any reason. Even if they were sharing money there, when you become viral, let's say Twitter said everybody who becomes viral with this hashtag, the brand will never go there. So I guess that's on the brand itself to train whoever it is that is managing its brand. Then the question about giveaways, and let me see if any other question has come in. How do you do giveaways that will help you retain customers? I think I can't remember who asked the question. It was probably Lekon. No, not Lekon. I can't remember. I think it was Shegun Adeyomo who said, how do you do giveaways? So I'm not a giveaway fan. Forgive me. I know that during COVID did look a bit like that. I'm not a giveaway fan. But when the COVID-19 pandemic started, right, it was clear. You remember how they always say to us, hope is not a strategy. When you when you are getting into business or whatever, they'll tell you, hope is not a strategy. You have to do this, you have to do that. But at the top of the pandemic, a lot of people were scared. A lot of people were already wondering, there was a lockdown, full lockdown. You had to sit in your house. People were panic buying foods and panic buying tissue papers. And people had to be at home fully, right? So people were scared at the top of the when the lockdown just started. And what I thought a lot of brands were doing wrongly was they were spiking these fears. Now, when the pandemic ends, people don't remember what you said, but they just remember how you made them feel. So for brands that were spiking fears, I'm not saying people that were saying wash your hands and wear face masks were spiking fears, but there were brands that were particularly capitalizing on the end. It was almost sounding like the end of the world with their content, right? It was critical at that time to be a brand that was selling hope, a brand that was acting like, we're not worried about the pandemic. We're not afraid of the pandemic. I mean, pandemics come, pandemics go, but we are a brand that we're not shaking, no shaking. We stand gidigba for here. And so the giveaway type content was a content that was actually selling hope. It wasn't to drive. It did drive a lot of downloads at the time, but it was a brand that was selling hope. So I'm going to use a fintech as an example. In the middle of the pandemic, I know of fintech that raised over 2 billion in revenue in the middle of a pandemic because the brand itself was selling hope as they were chatting on social media as a brand that was not afraid of the lockdown or the shutdown or the pandemic. So people thought it was easier. If these people know they shake and they are still giving out money and they are still signing on big influencers that are dashing out money, I better keep my money with them because it doesn't look like they are worried about corona. Other brands were using content like don't spend your money, lock it down. So they were giving advice. The other brands in the same fintech circle were giving advice that had people using us for those advice. Like don't spend your money, lock it down, keep it safe. You don't know what will happen after corona. But when they needed a brand, a place to keep it safe, it was more like, so sometimes giveaway is a strategy. So that was where the strategy came up from. Not necessarily, it wasn't to drive retention. Sometimes giveaways drive awareness. So if you are using a giveaway as a retention strategy, no, I don't think that a giveaway is a retention strategy, except you say, I'm giving you 10,000 and every week you can only withdraw 500 naira. Of course, I'm going to stay on your brand until I withdraw this entire 10,000 naira. That's an idea. Shit. I should probably write it down. Hold on one second, guys. You can actually give people money. I'm joking. So, you can't necessarily use giveaway as a retention strategy, but you can use giveaways as an awareness strategy. So there's the awareness part. Remember I said there's the awareness, there's the awareness, which is the acquisition part. There's the retention, and then there's the mass appeal. So I think Shegun asked, if you say I will give you 10,000 naira if you download my app, that's awareness. People will go and download the app. They will utilize the app. You will send them the 10,000 naira to the app, so they will have to use the app to get that 10,000 naira. If it's a fintech brand, so they get the 10,000 naira. Some of them delete the app immediately. They get the 10,000 naira. Some of them say, maybe they'll do another giveaway, so let me keep the app on my phone. Now that's where your strategy changes a bit. You start to talk about retention, driving retention, how you can use the app, what other things you can use the app for besides getting 10,000 naira. You can use the app to do this. You can use the app to do that. So that's a way to now capitalize on the awareness you've created to retain these consumers who may have joined your brand just because, they wanted that giveaway. I hope that answers the question, Shegun and Israel. You can unmute your mic so that you let me.
Yes, it did.
Yes, it's fine.
Okay. Thank you very much. Yeah. So, if there are no other questions.
Yeah, I think I have a question.
Oh my Jesus! When the person that teaches everybody social media is asking a question. Okay.
I'm very able to answer you. So basically, my question is, wouldn't that, if you're using that as I'm looking at this much more of a. That looks like much more when you use giveaway. I know you mentioned awareness, but I think it looks much more like acquisition from my angle, though.
Yeah, so that's why I said awareness
Yeah.
acquisition.
So,
Yeah.
but wouldn't that drive up your cost per acquisition in terms of if you have a low retention rate? I mean,
So that's why your next strategy of retention is really critical. It's not just about driving up awareness or driving downloads or driving acquisition costs. You have to then utilize it such that they are retained on. You have to get to the third stage actually. So I'm typically not a stop at retention type person. I want
referral and the
acquisition,
likes.
retention, and mass appeal. Mass appeal is when you go viral. When these people that you have acquired and retained for some reason, so you have to sell them at their pain points, right? When you did acquisition with giveaways, again, this is not a masterclass about using giveaways, please. It was just to answer a question, right? So when you use giveaway as one of your strategies for acquisition, these people have downloaded because you were giving 5,000, 10,000, or whatever amount of money. They're already somewhat connected to your brand. They feel good about your brand somewhat because this brand gave me money. Again, they're not going to stay there or utilize your brand because they just came in for the money. However, you start to drive them with content that will retain them. So that's when you get to the retention point. You see that they're complaining about charges. So you're sending them emails. You're pushing out content that says, there's zero charges. You might as well, since you've already downloaded the app, you might as well keep using it because, we don't have charges. Or you see that one of their pain points is, what example will I use now? What example? SARS, stopping them on the road, and then taking all their money because they can't. So you sell things like the security of the app or cardless withdrawal or how you will never, you start to use content that meets them at their pain points. Yes, they came in as at a maybe higher acquisition cost, but you would have built all of that into your cost, right? And then start to drive retention with your content and with different strategies until they get to the point where this masterclass is about, which is the mass appeal part, such that you don't necessarily need to market yourself again. I mean, you still market yourself, but you don't necessarily need to market yourself again. Your customers are now your brand ambassadors. You built a community of soldiers. I'm not saying Thatcher type community. Who knows that Thatcher will be on this corner? I'm not saying Thatcher type communities or if there are any Malians here, I'm really sorry, but I'm not saying like Naira Marley type communities who decide that they will still don't understand how that thing works. Who they will trend hashtag every day for whatever reasons. Somebody needs to add me to that WhatsApp group, please, or if it's a Telegram group. I'm just interested in understanding the people what's really going on in those groups, and I'm not saying those type of communities. I'm talking about building brands and services and driving conversations online. So it's the acquisition, there's retention, mass appeal, and this class is focused on the mass appeal part. How do you get your consumers or people who use your brand to the point where somebody says, I need this, and immediately, right, they start to push your brand by themselves is what this conversation is about. Okay. I think that if there are no other questions, what's the time? Is it 1 hour yet? So,
I have a question.
Okay, Timothy, go on.
Also, lately I've been saying mostly everything you've been talking about has been mostly about going viral, and what I associate it quickly with is with Twitter and all of that. So I just wanted to
I was
know
going to talk about platforms. I was going to talk about different platforms. Calm down.
Okay, cool. Cool.
So you can actually also go viral on. People associate virality, something that I was going to bring up. People associate virality because of the way Twitter works. You can see it on the trend table. People associate virality with a Twitter trend. Or I think some people associate virality with some people associate virality with Instagram Explore. Is it really viral? Maybe some people do associate that, but I'm going to read what Tuka said. Thatcher and Malian type communities are the goal now. Beyonce, Michael Jackson, etc. have had crazier fan love. Very few brands achieve that, and I think that brands should aspire to every day. Every day, that's our goal. That kind of virality, and I like to think that we're on our way there. But that's the goal, to have that kind of virality. So let's talk about platforms that you can go viral on. If you've gone viral on Facebook, you have actually gone viral. I mean, that's my opinion. If you enter Facebook and people are actively talking about your brand, when Access Bank does an overnight withdrawal, and I don't have anything against Access Bank, I'm just saying, when Access Bank does an overnight withdrawal of stamp duties, and then you enter Facebook by mistake and everybody is recommending your brand. I mean, people in your circle that you can see, because with Facebook the algorithm is crazy. But you do like a social listening thing and you see people are talking about it without prompt. And I think that's a way to achieve virality. So let's talk about platforms. What is it? Platforms, I should say, because when you say platforms or strategies, let's use strategies and ways that you can. Okay, Timothy says calm. Ways that you can achieve virality. So let's use a random brand. I would like for one person to just quickly unmute their mic and then just give us a brand that we can run with. No, now use a Nigerian brand.
Access Bank. Let's use Access Bank.
I will stone you now.
Let's use VBank.
Sorry. I'm over.
Let's use something non-conventional, like ask someone something.
Maggie.
Abel, please, can you suggest?
Let's use Piggyverse. Piggyverse.
Okay. We should give them free marketing plan. Okay, so wait, I want to know who's talking.
Or Paystack.
Oh, Ronke.
Ronke.
Piggyverse is already
okay.
Okay, so I'm going to use. Somebody said Maggie. Somebody said let's use it. Let's come up with a fake brand, something new that is just coming to the market, and this person has called their father and their mother and their uncles and aunties. They've come up with a brand that is huge, right? Now we're going to do a lot of growth hacking in these conversations. Let's do growth hacking in this conversation. It has to be a product so that everybody understands. How do you growth hack a book sales? Is a book a good thing to use? Guys, at least one person answer. I'll take it for the team.
Yeah, it's okay.
Oh, what did I do?
Yeah, book is a great idea.
Okay.
Use that one.
I'm looking for a book brand or something.
Yes, like what's that popular one that's always selling books? The Routes. What is it?
The one about turn into a drama on Netflix. The Return of Baba Segi's Wife. Is that not a book? Or
yes,
is it not like a novel?
Yeah, it's a book.
Is it Baba Segi's Wife? That book like that.
Yeah, or Aki Festival.
Yeah, but
something
let's
like
a random
that.
book. Yeah.
Did we lose?
Okay, guys, you can now mute your mics. I'm the teacher in this class now. So I'm going to use a random book about entrepreneurs. So I've just written. It's not me. I mean, my client has just written a book on entrepreneurship, which is sort of like how aspire to and cost is low. No, marketing funds are low, but they want to go viral. This is a masterclass now, or what they call it, a workshop. So we're working together on this. They want to go viral. They've created a book. let's talk strategies and ways that they can go viral without spending so much money. How do they get brands or people, not brands? How do they get people to take notice of their book? First of all, we start with the acquisition. Acquisition, in this case, I'm constantly interchanging with awareness, because acquisition works when you're talking about downloads. Awareness in this case is more about people. This is a book, so I will use awareness. Okay, how do they create awareness? So they've opened social media accounts, one on LinkedIn, one on Facebook, one on Instagram, that at least people know about. Remember, this is awareness first. We're not talking about retention. To a book that people at least know about first. How do they drive awareness from being only 3 of them that know it to about 100,000 people that know it? I'm in the chat, so I'm literally taking ideas now. So, but I'll start by giving my own ideas. So they write a book about entrepreneurship. First of all, they do research, entrepreneurship pain points. What are the pain points of Nigerian entrepreneurs? They are selling on social media in Nigeria, target audience Nigerians. What are the pain points of Nigerian entrepreneurs that they talked about in their book? Because, the pain point is not useful if they haven't covered that scope in their book. Remember, this is a random exercise and not an actual book. So they wrote a book about Nigerian entrepreneurs and how they can help, or how Nigerian entrepreneurs can help themselves to grow in these markets, right? And so they have the social media handles in place. So first of all, that's the first thing. They've created their social media handles. Now they've gone and taken really nice pictures. They've opened a website for sales. Yes, government policies is a very huge pain point. And they covered it in their navigating government policies. They covered it in their book. So they understand that pain point. So first of all, create your handles, then you start to research your target audience, research entrepreneurs. What are their pain points? What are they talking about? How can they jump on these conversations on social media? So they go on social media one day and then they see that Gokada, Alright, and Max is being shut down because of funding is another pain point. It's being shut down because Lagos State government woke up one day and said Okada ban for good reasons, I guess, whatever good reasons. But there was no conversations. They just woke up one day and said Okada ban. That's a great conversation to jump on, and they don't jump on that conversation by saying, "Oh, we covered government policies in the how to navigate government policies. Buy our book," because that's a sales. Nobody's going to sell it. I hope we're working together on this. And nobody's going to jump on it and say, "Oh, these people covered government policies. Wow, I will buy 10 of this book." No. We want people to connect to the book. So they put content. They put great content about the ban and navigating government policies. Thank you so much, guys. And how to get funding, and yes, Toka said innovation, how you can drive innovation in Nigeria, utilizing our already pre-existing conditions like no light and conditions. They've covered all of that in their book. That's confirmed. And then suddenly the Okada ban trend starts. So this is where you guys come in. How do they jump on a trend like Okada ban that creates some sort of awareness about their brand? I'm saying write the actual content they will put on social media. How they jump on a trend like Okada ban and start to create content that makes people take notice of their social media timeline and start to follow them. Okay, guys, that's where you come in. How do you know when people are typing? Okay, I can start by giving some ideas. Nobody's typing. It's not an exam, guys. This is a workshop, masterclass-ish type thing. You actually have to type. Bookie, I can't see you typing. Technically, I can't see anybody typing.
You can't tell if anyone is typing.
Okay, but guys, I this is the part where you come in. This is why physical classes are so much better than all this.
Yeah, I think give it time. People should type.
Okay, Pelumi is typing. I will do a thread of Gokada as a case study. You're trying to jump on the hashtag Okada ban, right? And Gokada is not the only business that was affected by the Okada ban. But in your book, what you did cover was navigating government policies. It's in your book, navigating government policies. So, Buki, a thread of Gokada as a case study, nah. Gokada will first of all will not like it. People will start to come to you as, why are you talking about Gokada? Is it your business? They've tried, they raised money, they've worked hard. But there are people, no, except you know everything. She said she was frying egg. Israel, man, it's really hard running business in Nigeria. How are people going to retweet this now and share? I mean, there are people who might know, but it's not bringing awareness back to your business. Unsolicited advice: 5 tips to help bike hailing companies navigate the Okada ban. Yes, there's that, right? But the Okada ban has already happened. Tuka. So let me rephrase my question. The Okada ban has already happened. I'm a book brand that covered government policies, and I'm trying to have people share my conversation. I'm creating awareness now. I'm trying to have people share conversations from my handle about this. So how do I jump on a hashtag like the Okada ban? It was trending for 7 days. Okada ban was trending for 7 days. Everybody was talking about it. Now, the thing is, with social media, there's a lot of content going on about the same topic. You would think your own is the most intelligent. You now see Buki online or Bukayo just waxing philosophically and very politically and very strongly. You know, let me just delete my content because ain't nobody going to read this one because of what Buki and Bukayo are saying. So how do you create content that people will actually share, even if it's not? How to build sustainable business in a volatile economy like Nigeria? I will definitely not be sharing that one. I'm already bored about that one. How to stay. So I'm saying, how do you jump on a hashtag like Okada ban with a post on Twitter? Let me be specific to the Lagos State policy on starting a business. No, I'll beat all of you. A tweet chat on how SMEs can survive doing business in Nigeria using Okada ban. Okay, we're getting close. Yes, I love the infographic part. See, because people will share it. You will talk about countries that governments are supporting SMEs and compare it to Nigeria, and then put a quote from your book. Yeah, that works. Figures from where government supported businesses versus places where government didn't support businesses. People are now sharing because now you are hitting them at a pain point, and they're like, can you see that in other more, how do they put it on social media, in other more developed countries? God forbid. I really hate Nigeria. Nigeria is not my real country or something. Yes, Insana climbs. Thank you, Paul. And a tweet chat on how SMEs can survive doing business in Nigeria using Okada ban as a case study. Using some of the a tweet chat, yes, a tweet chat might work. Yes. Okay, let's go with the tweet chat. Now, if you're using a tweet chat, let me push you further. If you're using a tweet chat, who do you tweet chat with that will give you the kind of awareness for this kind of subject? Who do you tweet chat with? It has to be, now you're trying to create awareness. So you're piggybacking on a trend like Okada ban. That's one. Then 2, yes, I like that. I guess that's Bukayo. A 20-second video on how businesses can solve. Exactly. Now we are talking. Finally. Now we are talking. Thank you so much, Kende. Let's talk about tweet chat a bit. If you're doing a tweet chat with somebody that has a lot of followers, who would that person be that can drive awareness about your brand? And how would this tweet chat be structured? Okay. So I had a similar book that I'm pushing on social media. And so what we have created, I'll just tell you now, is the 30 days, 30 stories. We picked so one of the big things the book talked about is incomplete stories. I guess you guys know about incomplete stories, but I'll just give you what that means, or missing pages. So if you meet a Nigerian entrepreneur that has made a lot of money, have you noticed that when you ask them how they make their money, it typically goes something like this: now God, oh, it was hard and I worked hard and God was so kind to me. I mean, I give God all the glory. And those kind of, I mean, we should give God the glory. I mean, I always want to give God the glory. But those kind of information is not very helpful to entrepreneurs or people who are trying to grow their brand and are trying to read your book. So there's the incomplete stories of entrepreneurs, things that you want to learn. Like when I started a business, I really wanted to hear the failure stories. Well, every time I searched online, it was so person started this company and then they raised $2 million. So person started and then they did their Series A and then they raised $10 million. If you look at a lot of the success stories online, it doesn't help young entrepreneurs or people who are trying to start their business. And so it was important at the time to hear the failure stories. I know it's not a sadistic thing. It's to hear where people made a mistake and how they were able to overcome this mistake. So I was looking for the missing pages. Now, these entrepreneurs have written a book about navigating entrepreneurship, right? And then they have in the book they have this thing about missing pages, and it was such a huge thing to read that book. Now they say Ized markets that book on social media. One of the things that I came up with, I mean, you guys can tell me if it's a great idea, is 30 days 30 stories, where we interview entrepreneurs about the real story. We don't want to hear, oh, they eventually raised $2 million. That's good. But how did it happen? How did you go from being somebody who had a great idea to somebody who is now a multimillionaire or has a lot of investment in their business? So we want to capitalize on something in the book to create awareness, right? So that was 30 days, 30 stories. How would you have done that for a book about navigating government policies? And who would you have interviewed on Twitter, guys? Or on Facebook or on Instagram? Let's say you were doing an Instagram live. If you were writing a book about navigating government policies on Instagram live, one of the persons you won't be interviewing is, I mean, no, this is not a sentence that means that I'm against that person. I'm just talking about, ensuring that you're jumping on the right brand. You won't interview Linda Ikeji or Laura Ikeji and say, how did you navigate government policies? So I just want to have examples of influencers. So this is where influencer marketing comes. So I've talked about content, which is the type of content you're pushing online. Now, another strategy will be to piggyback on the people that already have this audience. You need to know that to get that mass appeal, there are people who have already built this audience, whether they built it over time or they built it because they are constantly talking about this subject. So you want to piggyback on them. Can I interview you for my book? I'm doing a series on successful entrepreneurs and how they navigated. Can I interview you for something like that? It can be an Instagram live thing. It can be a Twitter chat like Israel has said. But who are the influencers that you will interview for things like this? Those are strategies that you can use to drive your brand. So maybe a book was such a difficult thing to use because people have stopped typing for some reason. I'm not sure why. But I thought we're doing like a masterclass and we'll be able to together talk about brands and how you can, maybe I shouldn't have used the book. So strategy wise, you want to pick the right influencers. You want to use the right platform. So there are platforms that you don't jump on when you are doing mass appeal. You can use them for retention. You can use them for creating awareness and having constant conversations about the brand. So after mass appeal, you keep talking about the brand, right? So, but there are platforms that you utilize to, especially platforms that have your target audience, that you utilize to drive that virality. So pick the right platforms that have the right target audience for your brand, whatever it is that you're selling. And then I feel like I'm talking to myself. Nobody's even typing again. Hello, guys. At least 3 people say something.
I'm here, Ized. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, here.
Okay, so
We are here. We're
okay.
following.
Okay, then there's influencer marketing, utilizing influencer strategy to drive conversations about the brand. But I'm talking, how do you?
We're here. Go on.
Okay, thank you. So influencer strategy is a great way. So think about it. Recently, Club Isolate. I don't know if you guys have seen the hashtag Club Isolate. It's been going viral recently. Every Friday evening. I mean, 30 plus Twitter have it going on there. I mean, I don't relate being a 20s plus Twitter. I mean, forever young. But Club Isolate has been getting that traction of conversation. How do you, as a brand that's selling drinks, jump on a hashtag like Club Isolate and create awareness about your brand? First of all, there's acquisition stroke awareness, then there's retention, then there's mass appeal. So how do you jump on a hashtag like Club Isolate to grow awareness about your brand? Offer discounts to everybody who is on the platform or who comes to Club Isolate on Friday. We will deliver drinks for free if you use the Club Isolate hashtag, or if you're going to be in Club Isolate, because it's a Zoom party, so people are drinking from the house, and so you say you put content that relates to you selling drinks or food or suya, or I mean, if I was selling suya or barbecue meat or something, it would probably be one of the hashtags I would jump on. I recently saw people who were selling cocktails in these bags, and I thought it was so nice to sell cocktails in the bag, but I see them missing out on critical hashtags that they can be part of or they can partner with at zero cost to them and still be able to drive sales. So a good viral marketer has to look for opportunities, look at every point is you're searching the trends, you're understanding what people are talking about, and you're relating it to how can I connect this to my brand? What is the opportunity around this conversation for a brand like mine? Is there an opportunity for this conversation with a brand? No. Okay, so I'll skip. Is it too unsafe? Is it too risky to jump on a hashtag like this? Okay, what's the best way I can jump on it? Okay, then I will jump on it, or I will skip. However, you have to constantly find those opportunities on social media. I'm going to do something random now. I'm going to look at the trend table on Twitter. So on the trend table, okay, trending ads. Hush puppies constantly trending. No, Denola Grace trending. Oh my love. Okay, so I'm going to pick a random thing that is trending on social media. Tiara is trending. I think her husband wrote her something on his Instagram timeline. Sahara is trending. So let's work with Tiara. Oh, she's trending. So let's say Ciara is trending now. Her husband just wrote her a beautiful note on social media. Guys, you have to actually participate in this thing. Her husband just wrote her a beautiful note on social media. You have brands. What are the kind of brands that you can think would jump on that conversation and create awareness about their brand? Now, their awareness might be, oh, only 30 people finds out about the brand, shares the post, and then start to follow. But awareness can't grow until it then becomes viral. So Ciara's husband wrote her this really beautiful note, did a video, and then loved very openly. Men that can love very openly is very rare in generally, actually, everywhere. But he did right, and she's trending everywhere: Twitter, Instagram. How are you as a brand, regardless of what you're selling, able to jump on a conversation like this? And what kind of brands do you think can jump on conversations like these? I'll even make it harder. If you were a fintech brand, how do you jump on a conversation like this? I promise you, nobody's marking these answers. We're just sharing as a team. If you were a fintech brand, how do you jump on a Ciara type conversations? If I was a fintech brand, right? I see is it cowrie wise I see, or a lot sometimes, and then they jump on these conversations via email marketing. So that's also another platform to use, email marketing. But the issue with email marketing is a different channel from what is going on online. So sometimes there's a disconnect. On Twitter, people are actively talking about a brand, and then the email marketing person, who is also very active on Twitter, thinks that everybody else is reading that conversation on Twitter, and then they put it in their emails. And I'm reading it as a client who didn't follow that conversation on Twitter, and I'm very confused as to why this person is talking like a goat. Like, what is this? Why are you writing this? But people who followed the conversations on social media, or on Facebook or Twitter or on Instagram or wherever the conversation is coming from, are able to understand. But imagine if I was a brand that had a man that had 500 million naira in a bank, and I'm not a very Twitter person or a Facebook person, and the email marketer has gone and lent and done head on, you are doing well, or something silly, some other catchphrase that is going viral on Twitter, and then sends that same email that he's sending to everybody and sends it to me, and I'm looking like, is the person, is something going on in this bank? So you have to be careful about the platforms that you need to change these conversations. But let's say it's going viral. Ciara is going viral because her husband sent her a message on social media, and you're a fintech brand, and you think that you want to jump on that conversation. How do you then jump on a conversation like Ciara's husband? I think that I will also do a love letter to my clients. So say I was pushing out it's not going to happen, but let's say I was pushing out a conversation for VBank, right? VBank calls um their fans V's. So I'll say, dear V's, um, you know, sort of almost imitate spoof on Ciara's husband's letter, but in a way to say that I love you just the way you are. Thank you for using our platform, or something like that. What do you guys think? If we're a fintech brand, how do you jump on that kind of hashtag? This is why I don't do online classes. I can't even pick anybody. Okay, so let me just randomly pick people.
Yeah, there's a couple of them in the chat box.
Am I
Actually,
missing?
so transparency is as open as this.
Oh wow, my chat box wasn't refreshing. So sorry, guys. I'm so sorry. Okay, I see what is happening. Sorry. Oh, I'm really, really sorry. So you guys have been talking for a bit.
Yeah.
Okay, I see the tweet chat with Charlie Boy, tweet chat Sega link now. No, I mean I really, really like and respect him. But if I was doing a tweet chat about government policies, this is not the time. Or maybe this is the time actually, because he's constantly trending. People are looking at his timeline. I would definitely have a tweet chat to Sega link. Tweet chat with some government Do they have people who follow the brand they want to see the conversation, and then tomorrow, instead of talking about MC Oluomo, I will talk about something that relates to something else.
Ized, we can't hear you.
And
I don't know if you can hear us, but we can't hear you. Your internet.
I said you are breaking.
then people will follow. Okay. So um somebody said let's do this. I can't remember what I said that you said let's do this, Israel. Paul said that's a wonderful idea. I'm not sure what people said let's do this. Write a love story to your audience and potential audience. Um Killing Kachi said customers can make payments using the platform and they get 10% discount upon coupon code Sierra Love. I like that one. I really, really like that one. Brand conversions to them. I like the Kenny love letter. You can be silent by clicking the send button. Oh, how about you can send transfer cash to show your love. We give interest on our funds, on good days, on our bad days. We are here to support you. I really, really like that one. Thank you, David. Transfer cash to prove your love. Book. Ayo just typed yes, and I'm thinking book a ride because Ayo is constantly selling ride hailing on social media. I'm not sure how to use book a ride to drive Sierra's love, but there are ways to jump on hashtags that you can pick it to be relevant to your brand. So basically, you can use different strategies. You can use influencer marketing strategy, piggybacking on somebody that already has a lot of followers online. You can use content strategy, ensuring that your content is shareable, relatable, and really in tune with what the consumer's pain points are. Be platform specific. What you say on Twitter should be different from, the target audience on Facebook, they talk in a specific way. The target audience on Twitter, they talk in a specific way. And when you then get LinkedIn, you probably want to use aspire to perspire to require your desired type content, because that's what, I feel like that's what a lot of LinkedIn people relate to. For some reason, I'm not sure, but be platform specific when you're tweaking your content so that you can go viral, so that people start to share it a lot. I think that I'm done. I think I've tried my best here. Any other continuation of this class? Is there like should I drop my VBank link so that you guys can donate to the course or pay me? But I also think that you guys should download the VBank account because I'm talking to the digital media marketers here. Very soon, I'm definitely plugging, because I've been talking since. Let me plug my clients, please. 1 second. I have one quick, fast second. Because if you utilize the VBank account, as soon as before the end of the month, you can actually do like forex exchange using your VBank account. You can swap to, you can do like a dollar exchange. You can request your V cards. ATM cards are ready. They're really beautiful. You can get verified. WhatsApp channel banking, so you can actually bank via WhatsApp right now. I will drop the numbers very soon, where you can just WhatsApp and Bolanle from V will respond to you. I also work with other clients like To Do, where you can do adjust savings and group savings, and nobody can steal your money. So you see everybody that has paid on the group. So you start a group and you put an amount that everybody needs to pay. Once they pay, you sit on the top, everybody who has paid. And it's only the person who everybody authorizes to collect that can remove the money from the account. So that way, you can do adjust savings using an app like To Do. I think I've plugged enough. That's it. I've tried for today. Or you can, if you're not already following me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, Zulu Echo God Bravo Uniform Alpha Zegwa on
Really?
social media platforms. I'm just going to type my social media handle here. Please, if you're not already following me, why are you not following me? Thank you very much, Pelumi. God bless you. I think I'm done. I guess if there are any questions, we can answer it right now. But going viral is very strategic, like I said, in summary, and has to do with your content and your target audience. I see the thank yous. I will send my account number through Bukayo. You guys are all welcome. Thank you so much. No other questions? Shall I click end? Hey,
No,
thank
you
you, Naomi.
shan't.
Oh, I shan't. Naomi is a DigiClan lead from Ghana. We appreciate all her efforts. Thank you so much, Naomi. So, guys, if you are in a state and there's no DigiClan there and you want to start a DigiClan meetup, or there's already a DigiClan there and you still want to start a DigiClan meetup, please reach out to Bukayo or Pelumi. We're trying to go drive DigiClan growth across Africa. So wherever it is that you are, I mean, maybe beyond Africa, but for now we're African focused because we can't change the name now. We are registered as DigiClan Africa, by the way. So if you are in a state or in a location and you would like to start a DigiClan meetup, please reach out. We will provide support, especially if it's online. We will provide support. Thank you so much, guys. I really enjoyed doing this. I guess that there are no more questions. I will send the slides. Hey, you just made me tap on the trending
I was about saying
hashtag on
slides.
Twitter. Miss Money by Chicago. Yes, I did have slides. It was just not fine. That's why I didn't share.
Oh, okay, great. So, I mean, you can share that with me, and then we can share with people that are registered, and to get it. So, if you registered, you
Please
definitely
make it
get this
fine before
slide.
you share it.
I mean, Belgian calls.
And if you didn't register, please quickly go and register somehow.
Yeah. So, if you're not already a digital member, so I'll drop the link right now in the chat box for you to register. Also, we have some surveys that we actually conducting, and if you haven't taken that as well, I'll drop that in the chat box as well. Thank you so much. Pelumi, can
If
you
you're
help
not
me
a
with the
digital
registration
member,
link?
why are you not a digital member?
I mean, why are you not a digital member? You
Why are
get.
you not a DigiClan member? There's so much to learn on DigiClan. I mean, Harry Obi is on DigiClan, and he's finer than Daniel Agri. Almost.
Wow. I mean, Harry. I mean, I'm not. I don't know. We're also conducting
Hey,
a survey, employee and employer survey. So we'll be glad if you could give your feedback as well. So dropping the link in the chat box. That's the employee link. And if you're an employer, please just take a second to fill the survey as well. So employee, employer, they're two different ones. Harry said you hear from my lawyers, but I'm thinking is that lawyer or my lord? May I approach?
you know that these days it's
Atomic bomb.
courts that they get married on. Mm.
So may I? So thank you very much, I did.
Can I be?
Thank you so much for our time. So yes, you can leave. So we'll be back again in 2 weeks. We know how we do this. So we'll have another masterclass in 2 weeks, and then we'll keep you informed. Thank you so much, and we'll end now. Please don't forget to take the surveys, and if you need me to drop it in the group, I'll also drop it in the group after this. Thank you, and bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Felumi said bye, Gary. Felumi, I miss you. Let's talk. I just always like to be the last person to leave. Tega!